This is the MOVA MOBIUS 60, and it's trying to be like a flagship smartphone where it has all of the features you could want, like tangle-free dual rollers, and some you didn't even know you needed, like a mop swap hub. I put this robot vacuum and mop through all sorts of tests, including this one, where I tried trapping it in a room. Thresholds like these have stopped many robot vacuums, but whoa, it just climbed out. That's pretty cool. It's got these smaller wheels that stick out to let it climb obstacles, so it can cross thresholds. I cannot believe how fast robot vacuums are improving, but for it to be useful at all, I think it must clean well, not need any supervision, and I should rarely need to clean it manually. So let's see if the MOVA MOBIUS 60 can do all of that. MOVA is a pretty new brand and they sponsored this video, but still, I'm not setting my place up to make it any easier for it. And in fact, I left all of my lights and cables just in the middle of the room here and sent the robot out. Since the MOBIUS 60 is a higher end model, you actually get quite a lot more features to boost its cleaning performance, such as the 3 switchable mop pads. The blue one is what they call the Hyper Clean mop pad, which is meant to be versatile and durable. But since my place mostly has hardwood floors, I've been using the yellow plush mop. This one is super soft and meant to be gentle on wood flooring and get into all of the crevices. Lastly, the red thermal hold mop pad is meant to retain more heat from hot water washing and clean up tougher stains. You get all of these mop pads along with another set of the same pads in the box, which is pretty neat. And the best part is, thank goodness, you're not switching these mop pads manually. The dock automatically places the mop pads on the robot and then washes the mop pads too before using. MOVA calls this the mop swap system, and this is actually their first robot vacuum with this feature. When it comes to vacuuming, the MOBIUS 60 does it a bit differently. This is the first time I've seen a dual roller on a robot vacuum. Both of the rollers have these rubber fins, and the front roller has some bristles as well. They roll in opposite directions and do a great job capturing even very small debris. I thought there was a chance that large debris could get stuck between them, so I tried it with this straw wrapper and it ate it right up. But one thing a robot vacuum shouldn't avoid is hair. You want it to suck up all of the hair. The problem is, with roller brushes in the past, hair always gets tangled, so every other run you'll have to grab some scissors and cut it off. Even a little bit of hair wrapped around the rollers can hurt performance. The MOBIUS 60 actually has a pretty clever solution for this. If you look closely at the dual roller, the left-hand side is open, so hair naturally gets pulled towards that side. And you can see the suction part right here, so the hair moves this way and gets sucked into the vacuum instead of wrapping around the brush. I have long-ish hair, and I have yet to see a single strand tangled on the roller itself, so that's great. But look at it, it's just a round puck. How can it possibly get into all of the corners and edges? MOVA actually thought of that, and both the brush in the front and one of the mop pads can extend to reach corners and edges. The front brush especially has a really long reach, and it can get right up against the corners. And because the robot vacuum is so low, it can get under beds and furnitures, so most of the time, it actually has better coverage than if I were to clean the place myself. Of course, my bed is pretty high, but if you have a very low bed with low clearance, the MOBIUS 60 can actually retract this small puck on the top, which is its time of flight sensor. But actually, the robot also lowers the sensor when it's done cleaning. I guess that helps to keep the sensor clean. For vacuuming, this robot can reach 30,000 pascals of suction, and it has this plate that automatically comes out when it's on carpet to further improve the seal and remove embedded dust from carpets. But this robot can mop at the same time, and it does a great job at that too. It pushes down with 12 newtons of force and spins the mop pads at 260 RPM. But the best part is, for uneven thresholds like these, the mop pads can even tilt, so it never loses contact with the ground. Now, in the app, you can actually set different zones to be marked by different mop pads. You can also change the order of which rooms are cleaned first. I'm running the yellow plush mop on all of my bedrooms and using the red thermal hold mop for the dining room. Another feature that you don't see on other robot vacuums is this: a container for 2 different types of floor cleaners. You have one side for the multi-surface general cleaning solution and the other for wood floor and pet cleaning solutions. The MOBIUS 60 cleans really well, but what's the point of a robot vacuum if you have to constantly babysit it? Here's my living room, which is also my filming space, and I've got a bunch of tripods, light stands, cables on the floor. Having to move all of that every time before running the robot is super time consuming and honestly kind of lame. So a vacuum with good obstacle avoidance is absolutely critical. I've been running this robot around the house with everything left exactly as it is, and as you can see, it avoids the cables really nicely. Even this black cable on a dark wood floor, it avoided it perfectly. I still haven't seen it get caught on anything around the house. And if there's a bigger piece of debris, like a sock, it'll just go around it. So gone are the days that your robot vacuum is eating up random stuff and you have to go unclog it. Especially if you have random stuff underneath your bed that you forgot about. The MOVIUS 60 would actually mark the obstacles that it avoids on the map. So you'll actually know if there's stuff underneath your bed. And even when it's dark, the obstacle detection still works great because there's a pretty bright light in the front. And this light also really shows you all of the dust that's on the floor. And office chairs are no problem for it. Obviously, it can't get underneath this one, but it gets as close as possible and cleans around it in a pretty efficient manner. And I've already shown you its obstacle passing capabilities, which MOVA calls Stepmaster System 2.0. So even if you have door sills or other barriers that are as high as 5 centimeters for a single threshold, or a combined one of up to 8 centimeters, you can still just send it out and it'll clean the whole place no problem. It can also detect when it's on carpet and automatically lift its mop pad. In the software, it even knows where the carpet is. So if you have a super fluffy rug where lifting the mop head isn't enough, you can have it drop the mop pads on the base station before it goes and vacuums that area. I often have a lot going on at my place since I film my videos here, like lights, stands, gear on the ground, and I've never worried about the robot knocking anything over. I honestly don't even think about it anymore. I just let it run and do its thing. Also, if the MOVIUS 60 ever runs out of charge in the middle of a clean, it will just go back on its own to charge. It remembers what it has and hasn't cleaned, so it will just resume the task after charging. So you can run it without having to consistently keep an eye on it. But what really makes it convenient are the self-cleaning functions. Of course, it automatically washes and dries its mop like most other robot vacuums. But this one uses some really hot water at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's basically boiling, and it helps to sanitize the mop pads as well. The dock also dries the mop pads. But when I first saw this dock with these multiple mop pads, I was wondering if I used 2 sets of mop pads in a single run, how would it still dry all of them? Well, there's an air duct here which routes the hot air through to all of the mop pads, even the ones that are not on the robot. It even dries the dust bag just in case it sucked up some liquid. And speaking of the dust bag, here it is. It's pretty big. After each run, the robot vacuum would auto-empty itself into this bag, and it's supposed to last about 100 days. But of course, it depends on how dirty your place is. So typically, all you have to do is refill the water and empty the dirty water bin. Also, there's this little floaty in the dirty water bin, so it'll warn you when it's completely full. Overall, it's pretty low maintenance. Now, the MOVIUS 60 actually does a little bit more than just doing a good job at cleaning. You can operate it remotely like a remote control car. So you can use this to check on your pet if you're ever not home. But also, if you ever leave the house and wonder, did I leave the stove on? You can actually drive this to your stove and check on it as well. But if you don't like the camera features, it's pretty easy to disable in the app. And the app is pretty good. It has so many options, but it's still very intuitive. You can easily do room and zone cleaning, and setting no-go zones is super easy as well. I also really like the fact that you can see the robot's location live when it's cleaning, so you know its progress. Overall, the MOVIUS 60 pretty much has every feature that you can want in a robot vacuum, and it looks really sleek in your house too. Definitely check it out at the link below. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!